Every second you stay soft, the world hardens around you. And when the world gets hard and you're still soft, it crushes you. You'll get passed over, rejected, overlooked, replaced. That's what happens to average men. The world doesn't cater your feelings. It bows to the man who commands himself. And right now, you're not that man. But here's the real nightmare. It doesn't come all at once. It's slow. You won't realize you become a failure until it's too late. Not because someone told you, not because your bank account hit zero, but because one day you'll look in the mirror and feel absolutely nothing. No fire, no purpose, just numb. That's the death of a man. And it doesn't happen in the grave, it happens in routine. That's the psychological trap you're in. You're not stuck, you're sedated. You've been drugged by your own avoidance. You call it chilling, but it's escapism. You say you're waiting for motivation, but what you're really doing is hiding. You keep yourself distracted so you never have to face that you're wasting your life, but deep down, you know. You know every time you ignore the gym. You know every time you hit snooze. You delay action. That guilt you feel, that's your potential screaming, begging to be let out. You're afraid to go all in because you've never tasted total commitment. You're scared of failing, so you avoid trying. And that's why you stay in the same place. Cowards don't fall. They rot. They decay in comfort while pretending they're planning something big. They rot while telling themselves they're preparing. No, you're not preparing. You're delaying. You're stalling. You're choosing the slow death. So I get it. It's terrifying to look in the mirror and admit you're not who you promised yourself you'd be. It's brutal to face your own weakness. But you know what's worse? Regret. The kind of regret that chews through your insides when you realize you had the shot and you pissed it away trying to feel good. But here's the difference between you and the man who wins. He feels that fear too. He just doesn't let it run his fucking life. He uses it, turns it into fuel. The winner isn't void of doubt. He just mastered the voice in his head. And that voice, the one telling you to rest, to delay, to quit, it's not your friend. It's your cage. So here's the reality. You can either suffer now through pain or suffer forever through regret. One hurts for a moment, the other poisons everything. And you're choosing one, whether you admit it or not. But I'll tell you something most people won't. You can still change. Even if you've wasted years, even if you've betrayed your own potential, the war isn't over until you decide it is. You can rise from the ashes. You can flip the entire script, but only if you move now, not next week, not tomorrow, now. Because every second after this one is a vote for who you're becoming. And right now, that vote is being cast. So decide, do you want to be the man who looks back one day and says, I built something legendary? Or the one who mumbles, I could have been something, while he pours another drink and avoids his reflection? You weren't born average, you became it. But you don't have to stay there. You just need to stop fearing the fire and start walking into it. You want to feel powerful? Then stop asking the world to hand you something and start taking it. Power isn't given. It's not a prize for the comfortable. It's a side effect of pain. You earn power by doing what most won't. You gain respect by conquering parts of yourself no one sees. When the alarm rings and your bones ache and your mind screams to rest, that's where you either become the man or remain the coward. And here's the truth. 99% will never make that turn. But if you're watching this right now, maybe you're the 1% that does. You don't need more motivation. You need an obsession. You need to get so fucking serious about your future that nothing can seduce you back to comfort. No Netflix, no party, no girl, no sleep. You want a life most men only fantasize about? Then you better become the kind of man most men are incapable of being. You better stop looking for shortcuts and start bleeding for every inch of progress. Because in this world, you either build a legacy or you get buried under someone else's. The gym is not just for your body. It's for your soul. Every rep is a rejection of weakness. Every drop of sweat is proof that you're not the same loser from yesterday. The weights don't lie, your excuses do. That cold shower in the morning, that extra set when it burns, that late night grinding while others sleep. That's where men are made. Not in comfort, not in theory, in war. And make no mistake, life is a war. A silent, brutal war between who you are and who you refuse to become. You're not here to participate, you're here to dominate. You're not here to fit in, you're here to stand so far above the crowd they need binoculars to see you. And that won't happen by accident. That only happens when you get obsessed with mastery, with growth, with becoming too damn disciplined to break. You have to kill every weakness before it breeds. You have to suffocate every excuse before it spreads. You have to wake up every day like your future depends on today, because it does. You want freedom, you want peace, you want confidence so high it silences every room you enter. Then start with one thing: control. If you can't control what time you wake up, what you eat, what you consume, what you say, then how the fuck do you expect to control your destiny? You think you'll accidentally stumble into greatness? No, you will either forge it with brutal consistency or watch another man live the life you wanted while you fake a smile. There's a switch inside of you, and when it flips, everything changes. Suddenly, you don't negotiate with your emotions, you execute your decisions. Suddenly, you're no longer looking for comfort, you're hunting pressure. You wake up with purpose, you train like your life depends on it. You work like your future family is watching. You carry yourself like your last name is royalty, and every move you make echoes in generations. And people will start to notice. They'll look at you different, not because you said anything, but because you became something. Real energy can't be faked. You walk into a room and your presence punches through the noise, because you're no longer average. You're no longer weak. You've done the hard shit alone in silence, and now it radiates from your being. And they'll ask you, what changed? And all you'll say is, I stopped being who I used to be. And that's what this is about. Transformation. Not small wins, not temporary motivation, complete identity shift. A violent rejection of the old version of you. The one that begged for comfort, that ran from pressure, that blamed everyone but himself. That man is dead. He has to be. Because if you let him live, he'll drag you back down every time you try to rise. So bury him right now. Bury the version of you that scrolls for hours, that skips the gym, that half-asses work. Bury the version of you that speaks soft and thinks soft and quits before the storm hits. And then replace him with something primal, something bulletproof, something unshakable, something forged in discomfort and sharpened by hunger. And you're not born great. You become great when you stop making excuses and start making war plans. When you treat every hour like a brick in your empire. When you treat every task like a test from the universe asking, are you ready yet? And you answer with action. Ruthless, precise, disciplined action. No more tomorrow. No more maybe. No more waiting for the perfect time. The time is now. The pressure is now. The fire is now. You want the life? Then act like it. Suffer now or suffer forever. Fight now or be forgotten. The world doesn't slow down, it just moves forward without you. And when you finally taste progress, real, earned, undeniable progress, you'll realize it was never about proving them wrong. It was about proving you were right about yourself all along. That deep down you always knew you were meant for more. That you weren't crazy for dreaming. You were just surrounded by men too scared to believe in themselves. Not you. Not anymore. Now you move like a weapon. Now you work like time is watching. Now you build like your bloodline depends on it. And when it's done, when you've built the life they said you never could, you'll look back at every ounce of pain, every lonely day, every early morning, and you'll smile because you'll know it was all worth it. This is the part where everything either changes or stays exactly the same. And no one's going to decide that for you. No camera crew is filming this. No audience is watching. This is your private moment with the man in the mirror. This is the point where either you finally break the chains you've been dragging around for years, or you put them back on and pretend they're jewelry. Because you can fake it all day online, but you can't lie to yourself when the room goes silent and it's just you and the echo of wasted time. What you need to do, you've always known. You don't need another book, another video, another guru to hold your hand. What you need is a decision. A violent, total, non-negotiable decision that says enough. Enough weakness, enough of this bullshit identity you've built to protect your comfort, enough pretending you're trying when deep down you know you're not, enough playing the victim while you hand away your life piece by piece in exchange for momentary distractions. There is a beast inside of you, and he's sick of waiting. He's watched you betray him over and over, sleeping in, skipping work, chasing dopamine, abandoning discipline, but he hasn't died yet. He's just buried beneath a pile of excuses you feed him. Every day you ignore your responsibilities. Every time you break a promise to yourself, every moment you settle for mediocrity, he gets quieter. And if you don't resurrect him soon, you will live the rest of your life haunted by what you could have been. The last warning: the world doesn't pause. Life doesn't wait for the weak to figure it out. You don't get extra time just because you've been unmotivated. The clock keeps ticking whether you act or not. And soon you'll look around and realize everyone moved forward and you stayed the same. And no one will feel bad for you. They'll say he had potential, shame he never used it. That's how the world works. Results are louder than pain. Proof always trumps intention. The scoreboard doesn't care how you feel. But here's the hope. 'Cause I'm not just here to slap you. I'm here to remind you of what you're still capable of. You still have time. You still have power. You still have the ability to flip your entire life upside down. I don't care how far behind you are. I don't care how many years you wasted. The universe doesn't care either. It rewards the man who starts swinging right now. Not perfectly, not when it's convenient, but with rage in his heart and focus in his eyes. You want to be that man? Then you have to suffer. You have to bleed for this new life. You have to do what most won't. You have to sacrifice popularity, comfort, sleep, ego, everything that's keeping you soft. You have to embrace solitude, embrace boredom, embrace repetition. You have to turn your back on weakness so completely that it doesn't recognize you anymore. You have to become unrecognizable to the version of yourself that wasted time hoping for miracles. The road ahead is not easy. It's brutal, it's lonely, it's painful, but it's also pure. It's honest. Every inch you earn is real. Every scar is proof. Every battle is yours. And when you start stacking those wins, when you begin to look back and realize just how far you've come, not because someone gave it to you, but because you became a fucking machine, that's when the pride hits. Not the fake pride you post for likes. The real pride, the kind that lives in your chest and keeps your head high even when no one's watching. This is your shot. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. You either rise right now or you settle forever. You either build the empire or you kneel in another man's. You either burn your excuses to the ground or you suffocate beneath them. And if you walk away from this without doing anything, don't pretend you didn't hear the truth. Don't pretend you weren't warned. This is your crossroad. This is your legend or your obituary. Chips. So pause the video. Sit with yourself. No music, no scrolling, just silence and reality. Ask yourself, what is destroying me? What am I pretending not to know? What am I refusing to fix because it's uncomfortable? Write it, stare at it, and then go fix it. Don't tell anyone. Don't announce it. Just disappear and reemerge as a force of nature they can't comprehend. The kind of man who wakes up and doesn't need motivation because his standards are too fucking high to accept weakness. And when they see you again, when your body's carved from effort, your bank account built from skill, your energy undeniable, they'll wonder what happened, and you'll smile. Because you'll know that one day you made a decision that most never will. And it wasn't a speech, it wasn't a trend, it was you. You changed everything. He's successful, he's powerful, he's everything you've ever wanted to be, but every second you waste, he dies a little more. So ask yourself, are you about to kill the man you were born to become just because you're too weak to keep watching? You ever stop and think maybe the man you're supposed to be is disgusted by who you are right now? Every second you waste, he's screaming, dying, begging you to wake the fuck up. But you won't. Because you've gotten so used to failing that mediocrity became your personality, and deep down, you fucking hate yourself for it. You're not exhausted, you're untrained. Your body isn't drained from effort, it's crippled by comfort. The reason you feel lifeless isn't because you've done too much, it's because you've done nothing that actually matters. You mistake boredom for burnout. You scroll, you binge, you lay around all day, convincing yourself that your tiredness is real, but it's not. It's manufactured by a life with no challenge, no pressure, no war. You are rotting in luxury. You have heat, you have food, you have Wi-Fi, and yet your mind is collapsing under the weight of your own softness. You are surrounded by convenience, and somehow that has made you weaker than your ancestors who hunted their food and died by 40. You have more than kings ever had, and you still complain. What you call a hard life, a real man calls Tuesday morning. You're not overwhelmed, you're just undisciplined. You don't need more sleep. You You don't need another mental health break. What you need is purpose. What you need is structure. What you need is pain. You've built a relationship with comfort so tight it's suffocating you. You've wrapped yourself in this idea that life should feel good all the time, and now the smallest bit of pressure breaks you into pieces. And I get it. Society told you to be gentle with yourself. They told you to love yourself in your lowest state, but they never told you how to climb out. They never told you that self-love without progress is just self-delusion, that hugging your demons won't kill them, that accepting your weakness doesn't make it disappear, it makes it grow roots. They sold you kindness when what you needed was confrontation. You need to face the pathetic parts of yourself and burn them in fire. You walk around like you have time, like the clock isn't ticking, like the universe is going to wait for you to get your shit together. You think life owes you some grace period. It doesn't. The world doesn't care how you feel. It rewards the man who acts. And every day you stay passive, some other guy out there is waking up at 5 a.m., hitting the gym, learning skills, building his empire, and he's going to take what was meant for you. You're not unlucky. You're just being replaced by someone who wants it more. I'm not saying you're useless. I'm saying you're wasting what could be greatness. And that's worse, because useless men have nothing to save. But men like you have potential. You have that fire buried under all that mental laziness and spiritual apathy. You could be something dangerous. You could walk into a room and make people straighten their backs. You could lead, you could dominate, but instead you're sitting here wasting your power because you're scared of discomfort. What you need isn't another feel-good speech. You don't need soft encouragement. What you need is war, a war against your old self. A war against the version of you that keeps whispering, let's rest, we've done enough. You haven't done enough. You haven't even scratched the surface of who you could become. And the worst part is, you know it. That's why you feel anxious. That's why you can't sleep. That's why every success story you see makes you feel sick instead of inspired, because it reminds you that you're falling behind. But you're not broken, you're bored. You don't need therapy, you need challenge. You need to suffer on purpose. You need to earn your sleep. Go do something difficult. Go run 10 miles. Go starve the business you've been thinking about. Go starve for success. Go fight the inner bitch that keeps telling you you're not ready. Because guess what? No one ever is. Ready's a fucking lie. Lions don't prepare. They wake up and hunt. And here's the part that should slap your soul awake. You're still in control. As long as you're alive, you still have the power to turn the page. You still have the ability to rise from this mediocrity and become a man people admire. A man that women respect. A man that other men want to follow. You still have time to build the body, stack the money, sharpen the mind, but that window is closing fast. Every second you delay, the life you want moves a little further away. So ask yourself, how many more days are you going to waste feeling tired when you haven't even earned exhaustion yet? How many more mornings are you going to wake up and serve weakness instead of greatness? You weren't born to be average. You weren't made to be soft. You were built for war. It's time you started acting like it. I remember a guy I used to know, ordinary on paper, invisible in crowds, no special blood in his veins, didn't come from money, didn't have connections, didn't have a family legacy to carry him on their shoulders. He had nothing except one thing, the refusal to stay invisible. I met him when he was just starting out, skinny, unsure, wearing the same pair of shoes for 2 years. While others bragged about what they had, he was quiet, calculating, watching, preparing. No ego, just vision. He didn't speak much, but when he did, it had weight. I could see it in his eyes. He had decided, not hoped, not wished, decided. There's a difference. Most men hope success falls into their lap. He decided he would become success, even if it cost him everything, and it did. He bled for it. Sacrificed sleep, missed parties, walked alone while his friends laughed in packs. He turned his back on comfort and stepped into hell on purpose. That's what it takes. While others were celebrating the weekend, he was sharpening his weapons. While they chased girls, he chased strength. While they posted about fake wins, he stacked real ones. I watched this man change. Not overnight, not magically, but with brutal consistency. Every morning, 5 a.m., gym. Every evening, learning, building, strategizing. Every setback he swallowed. Every betrayal he absorbed. He let the world punch him in the face, and he smiled because he knew he was turning into something unbreakable, and the world tried to ignore him. That's how it always begins. You rise slowly and nobody claps. You level up quietly and no one notices, but eventually silence turns into whispers. Whispers turn into questions. Questions turn into fear. The same people who used to laugh at him now ask him for advice. The same women who ignored him now stare. The same men who mocked him now follow him. Because power can't be ignored forever. Now he walks into rooms and energy shifts. Now he speaks and people shut up. Now he moves and the world adjusts. Not because he's lucky, not because he was chosen, but because he became undeniable. And if you think I'm telling you this to entertain you, you've missed the point. I'm telling you because you're him, or you could be. You just haven't suffered enough yet. There's a version of you that terrifies the weak. A version that turns heads, commands respect, operates like a machine, thinks like a killer, walks like a king. But that version doesn't come out for free. He's locked behind discipline, buried under fear, suffocated by excuses. And he's not waiting forever. You either become him or you bury him forever. The truth is, the man I told you about, he's not just a story. He's not fictional. He's millions of men who finally reached their breaking point. Men who got tired of being nobodies. Men who snapped out of the trance and realized no one's coming to save them. Men who got so sick of mediocrity that they declared war on their own lives. And every man has that switch. Some just die before they flip it. And maybe your switch is right in front of you. Maybe that pain you keep avoiding is the exact thing that will free you. Maybe that discomfort you run from is the price of access to the strongest version of yourself. Maybe the suffering you're scared of is the fire that will forge you into someone this world cannot ignore. The man I told you about, he didn't have a map. He didn't have a formula. He just refused to stay the same. You don't have to be an athlete or a fitness freak. Just move your body every day. Walk, stretch, do yoga, hit the gym, go for a run, whatever suits you. Exercise isn't just about muscles, it's about mindset. It shows you what you're capable of. The discipline of showing up for your body spills over into other areas of life, your goals, your habits, your decisions. Next comes nutrition. What you eat doesn't just affect your waistline, it affects your confidence. Processed food might taste good in the moment, but it often leaves you feeling slow, guilty, and unmotivated. On the other hand, clean, whole foods give your body the fuel it truly needs. When you eat right, your energy is high, your focus is sharp, and your attitude changes. You're not just feeding your body, you're feeding your worth. And then there's sleep, one of the most overlooked yet powerful habits for confidence. A tired mind is full of self-doubt. A rested mind is calm, decisive, and strong. Don't glorify burnout. Don't wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. Real winners protect their energy, and sleep is a big part of that. 7 to 8 hours of quality rest is not laziness, it's a strategy. It resets your mind, boosts your mood, and strengthens your resilience. How you treat your body reflects how you feel about yourself. If you take care of it, you're silently telling yourself, I matter, I'm worth the effort. That message becomes your identity, and your identity builds your confidence. People often think confidence is something you build by looking in the mirror and saying affirmations. That helps, sure, but confidence is also built in the sweat of a workout, in the choice of a healthy meal, in going to bed on time instead of scrolling for hours. It's built in those small moments when you show up for yourself, especially when no one's watching. And here's something powerful. Confidence is visible. You don't need to say a word. When your health is in check, people notice your energy, your presence, the way you carry yourself, and that speaks louder than words. It's not about having a perfect body, it's about having a powerful one that serves you, supports you, and reflects your inner strength. When you feel strong physically, you feel capable mentally. So make your physical health a non-negotiable habit. Exercise regularly, eat to fuel, not just to fill. Prioritize rest, respect your body, and it will reward you with a mindset that doesn't back down, no matter what life throws your way. Because in the end, your body is your power source. And if that source is running on empty, everything else suffers. But when it's full, you shine from the inside out. Set small, achievable goals. Confidence isn't something you wake up with one day, it's something you earn. And one of the best ways to earn it is by setting small, achievable goals and actually following through. Big dreams can feel overwhelming. They're exciting, but they can also create pressure, fear, and self-doubt. So here's the key, break it down. Every big goal is made up of smaller steps. Instead of trying to leap the whole staircase, just take the first step, then the second, then the third. And with every small win, something powerful happens. Your brain starts to believe in you. That belief, that self-confidence taking root. Let's say your goal is to get in shape, start a business, or become more social. Don't overwhelm yourself with the final vision. Focus on what you can do today. Can you go for a 20-minute walk? Can you write one page? Can you say hello to one new person? That's where real change begins, not in big promises, but in small, consistent actions. And here's the magic. Celebrate those small wins. Most people wait to feel proud until the finish line. But confidence grows when you recognize progress, not just perfection. Did you check something off your list today? Celebrate it. Finished a workout? Give yourself credit. Spoke up in a meeting? That's growth. When you learn to pat yourself on the back along the way, you train your mind to see yourself as someone who takes action. And that's where true confidence is born. Small goals are powerful because they do two things at once. They create momentum and build trust in yourself. And trust in yourself is everything. Every time you say, I'll do it, and you actually do, your confidence gets stronger. But every time you break a promise to yourself, even a small one, your self-trust takes a hit. That's why real confidence isn't loud, it's quiet and calm. It comes from knowing deep down that you follow through, that you do what you say you'll do, that you don't quit on yourself. And don't compare your journey to someone else's. Maybe someone else is on step 50 and you're on step 5. That's okay. Everyone started somewhere. Stay focused on your path and measure success by your own progress. One win a day might not seem like much, but stack that over a week, a month, a year, and you'll be unrecognizable in the best way possible. So start small, stay consistent, keep promises to yourself, and let every little win remind you, I'm capable, I'm growing, I've got this. Because confidence isn't built in the future, it's built today, one step at a time. Let's talk about the next habit. Third habit, maintain positive body language. Your body speaks even before you say a word. It tells the world how you feel about yourself, but more importantly, it tells you how you feel about yourself. And that's why maintaining positive body language is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to build real, lasting self-confidence. We often think confidence starts in the mind and then flows to the body. But it works the other way too. When you change your posture, your energy, and your presence, your mind listens. You're not just acting confident, you're becoming it. Let's break it down. Think of someone who walks into a room with their head high, shoulders back, and a calm, steady pace. They make eye contact, they smile, they look like they belong. Now think of someone who walks in with slouched shoulders, eyes on the ground, rushing to sit down, shrinking into themselves. You can feel the difference, right? Here's the secret. The first person might not have felt confident at all, but they chose to control what they could, their body language. And that choice can shift your entire mindset. Stand tall. When you straighten your back, lift your chin slightly and take up space, you're signaling strength to both your brain and everyone around you. Slouching might feel comfortable, but it also makes you feel smaller, less powerful. When you stand with confidence, you feel it internally, even if you didn't at first. Make eye contact. This is a game changer. When you look someone in the eyes, you're not just showing respect, you're showing courage. It's a subtle way of saying, I'm not afraid, I'm here, I see you. And what's more, you start to believe in your own presence. Start small. Hold eye contact for a second longer than usual. It gets easier and the confidence grows with every glance. Smile. It sounds simple, but a genuine smile is one of the most powerful tools you have. Smiling doesn't mean you have everything figured out. It means you're open, you're calm, you're in control, and even if you're nervous inside, a smile can relax you. Your brain associates smiling with safety and positivity. It tells your nervous system, hey, everything's okay. Here's the science behind it. Your brain and body are constantly in communication. The way you sit, the way you walk, the way you breathe, all of it sends messages back to your brain. When you take control of those signals, you can literally trick your brain into confidence. This is called embodied cognition, the idea that your body's posture and movement can influence your thoughts and emotions. So when you adopt confident body language, you're not just faking it till you make it, you're helping yourself believe it. You know those people who walk into a room and instantly command attention even if they don't say a word? That's presence. And it often comes down to posture, eye contact, and a calm sense of control. Try this. The next time you walk into a room, pause for half a second, take a breath, lift your head, walk slowly and with purpose. Just that tiny shift, that pause, makes you appear and feel more grounded. And when you feel grounded, your confidence roots deeper. Now let's be real. This won't feel natural at first. You might feel awkward or like you're pretending. The more you practice positive body language, the more natural it becomes. This doesn't only apply to public situations. Practice positive body language even when you're alone. How do you sit at your desk? How do you walk in your house? How do you hold yourself when no one's watching? That's when the real transformation happens, when confidence becomes part of your default posture, not just a performance for the world. Let's not forget about your voice. The way you speak, your tone, volume, and pace is part of your body language too. Speak clearly, don't rush, don't mumble. You don't have to be loud to be powerful, but you do need to be sure of your words. The more you speak with clarity, the more you'll start to believe in your own voice, and so will others. Confidence doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's silent. It's in how you carry yourself when no one else is cheering. It's in how you hold your head high after rejection. It's in how you walk into new situations with fear in your chest, but still take the step anyway. Remember this, you are always sending a message to the world and to yourself. Make sure the message is powerful. Make sure it says, I am enough, I am capable, I belong here. Because once your body starts believing it, your mind will follow. Your posture is your power pose. Your smile is your invitation. Your eye contact is your confidence handshake. Use them, own them, and let the world feel your presence before you even speak a word. Let's talk about the next habit. Take care of your appearance. Let's be honest. How you look affects how you feel, and how you feel determines how you show up in the world. That's why taking care of your appearance isn't about vanity. It's about self-respect. It's about showing the world and yourself that you value who you are. Now, you don't need to be rich. You don't need designer clothes, but you do need to look in the mirror and feel proud of the person looking back, because when you like the way you look, you carry yourself differently. Your energy changes, your confidence rises. Let's start with the basics. Grooming and hygiene. These might seem small, but they have a massive impact on your mindset. When you start your day by taking care of yourself, brushing your teeth, fixing your hair, taking a shower, putting effort into your look, you're sending a loud message to your brain, I matter, I take myself seriously. That simple routine builds a sense of control and discipline, and that's where confidence thrives. You start the day with intention instead of chaos, and that small act of self-care creates a ripple effect in every other area of your life. Now let's talk about style. Again, this isn't about fashion trends or expensive clothes. It's about dressing in a way that makes you feel good, whatever that means for you. Maybe it's sharp, clean casuals. Maybe it's bold colors. Maybe it's something simple but well fitted. Whatever your style is, own it. Wear clothes that reflect who you are and who you want to become. Because when you look in the mirror and think, yeah, I like this, your entire posture changes. You stand taller, you speak with more strength, you radiate confidence. Here's a truth most people ignore. Others treat you how you treat yourself. And part of how you treat yourself is how you present yourself. If you show up sloppy, people assume you don't care. If you show up sharp, composed, and put together, people respect you. But more importantly, you respect you. You don't have to wait for a special occasion to dress well. You respect you for yourself. I have an opinion. Your life is the occasion. Don't save your best for someday. Use it now. Wear that outfit that makes you feel powerful. Spray that fragrance that lifts your mood. Style your hair the way that gives you a boost. These are small things that add up to a massive internal shift. Taking care of your appearance also teaches you discipline. You become intentional about your choices. You don't just throw something on, you choose your look. And that act of choosing builds your identity. It says, I'm not leaving my confidence to chance today. It's also a form of mental armor. When the world throws chaos at you, the way you present yourself can become your anchor. Even if your day feels messy, looking in the mirror and seeing strength, style, and self-respect staring back at you can give you that extra push to keep going. Ever heard the phrase, look good, feel good, do good? There's science behind that. Psychologists call it in-clothed cognition. The idea that what you wear affects your psychological processes. In other words, dressing with intention can literally change how you think and perform. If you dress like someone who takes charge, you start acting like someone who takes charge. If you dress like someone with a strong vision, you start walking like someone with a strong vision. And soon, it stops being about the clothes, it becomes about the energy you carry. Here's another thing. Confidence loves preparation. When you put effort into your look, you don't have to second guess yourself when you step out. You're not distracted by insecurity. You're not hiding. You're present, focused, and ready to lead. Even on your worst days, maybe especially on those days, not to impress others, but to remind yourself who you are. Your appearance can be your shield when your mind feels weak. It's a way of saying, even if I'm struggling inside, I will still show up for myself. And when people see that level of self-respect, they respond to it. Opportunities come your way. Conversations open up. Because confidence is attractive. And it begins with how you treat and present yourself. Let this habit be your daily reset button. Use it to reconnect with your goals, your purpose, your identity. You're not just putting on clothes, you're stepping into your power. You're building a version of yourself that the world can't ignore. So ask yourself, what message do I want to send today? Then dress in a way that reflects that message. With purpose, with pride, with confidence. Because when you look like someone who believes in themselves, the world starts believing in you too, and more importantly, you start believing in you. Let's talk about the next habit. Fifth habit, visualize success. Sometimes the biggest battle for self-confidence happens before we even take action. It happens in our mind, in the images we play, the stories we tell ourselves, the way we imagine what could go wrong. That's why one of the most powerful tools to build unshakable confidence is learning to visualize success before it happens. Your brain doesn't fully know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. That's not just motivation talk. That's neuroscience. When you mentally rehearse success, your brain begins to create new neural pathways. It starts preparing you emotionally, physically, and mentally to win. This is how athletes prepare for gold medals, how performers walk into the spotlight, how leaders step into uncertainty with calm and control. They see it before they live it. Visualization is not fantasy, it's mental training. It's preparing yourself to walk into the moments that scare you and succeed. Let's say you struggle with public speaking. Instead of feeding fear with thoughts like, I'll mess up or everyone will judge me, close your eyes and imagine something different. Picture yourself standing confidently, breathing steadily, speaking with strength. Imagine the audience nodding, clapping. Feel the calm in your chest, the clarity in your voice. Your body begins to believe that story. And when the real moment arrives, you'll be ready because your mind has already been there. You can use this technique anywhere. Going for a job interview? Visualize yourself shaking hands with confidence. Preparing for an exam? Visualize yourself sitting with focus, finishing strong. Struggling with self-doubt? Visualize yourself overcoming it, step by step. The key is detail. Don't just see yourself winning, see how you win. What are you wearing? What's the environment? How does success feel in your body? Light, calm, powerful? The more senses you engage, the more real it becomes in your nervous system. You are literally reprogramming your brain for belief, because here's the truth. Confidence comes from familiarity. The more familiar something feels, the less fear it creates. And visualization makes success feel familiar even before it happens. Is another bonus. When you visualize success regularly, your mind starts filtering the world differently. You begin to notice opportunities instead of obstacles. You focus on possibilities instead of limitations. You become solution-oriented. This isn't magic, it's mindset. And what happens over time is incredible. You stop just wishing for confidence, you start living it. Let's go deeper. Visualization also helps you bounce back from failure. Why? Because it gives you a reference point for what's possible. Maybe today didn't go well, but tomorrow you can still close your eyes, reset your vision, and say, that's not the end of my story. You can see yourself improving, getting better, winning next time. That mental image gives you fuel to try again. And that's what real confidence is made of. Start small. You don't need to sit for an hour in deep meditation. Just a few minutes a day in the morning before sleep or before a challenging task can rewire your mental script. Try this simple exercise. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Picture a moment where you want to succeed, but often feel unsure. Visualize yourself entering that moment with calm energy. You know what to say. You feel grounded, prepared, focused. See yourself succeeding, not perfectly, but powerfully. Feel the emotions, pride, clarity, strength. End the visualization by repeating to yourself, I am ready, I am capable, I believe in myself. Do this consistently and you'll start to notice a shift. Your brain will begin to expect success, and when your brain expects success, your body follows. Remember, you become what you repeatedly imagine. So stop imagining failure, stop replaying your doubts, start feeding your mind a future you're proud of, one where you show up fully, speak boldly, live freely. If you're suffering right now, if you're broke, fat, lonely, heartbroken, depressed, congratulations. You've been chosen. The universe is calling you to transform. That pain is pressure. It's trying to shape you into the man you're supposed to become. But if you run from it, if you numb it, if you complain, you waste the gift. You see, men aren't forged in comfort. They're forged in war. The greatest version of you is built when you're on the edge, when everything is falling apart, when you have every reason to give up, but you don't. That's when the beast is born. Not in good times, not when you're happy, but when you're bleeding and you smile anyway. That's what makes a man untouchable. Not money, not followers, not fake validation from strangers online. What makes a man powerful is the knowledge that no matter how many times life kicks him, he always gets back up. And not just gets up, he comes back stronger, angrier, wiser, more focused. That's the energy you need. That's what you must cultivate, because life isn't fair. It never will be, but it rewards the relentless. It bows to the disciplined. It kneels to the dangerous. You want change? Stop waiting. Stop wishing. Stop fantasizing. Get uncomfortable. Set your alarm and get up before the sun. Push your body until it screams. Read until your brain is too tired to think. Work until the idea of rest makes you restless. You'll suffer, yes, but you'll suffer with direction. And that suffering will become your strength. You'll feel power return to your bones. You'll look in the mirror and see a man, not a boy pretending. And when that man walks into a room, people will feel it. Not because he's loud, not because he's showing off, but because he's mastered himself. And once you've mastered yourself, the world becomes yours. You are not meant to be average. No man is, but most choose it because it's easier. I'm telling you, don't. Choose war, choose responsibility, choose pain, because that's where the kings are born. That's where you separate yourself from the millions of boys chasing pleasure and never building legacy. You want the crown, then bleed for it. You want respect, then earn it. You want the world, then take it. No one else will do it for you. And if you don't rise now, someone weaker, lazier, softer than you will take what was meant to be yours, and that regret will haunt you forever. I remember sitting in a freezing apartment, no heating, no hot water, mold in the corners, mattress on the floor. My fridge had nothing in it but old eggs and a half-finished bottle of cheap water. No one cared if I lived or died, not one person. I was irrelevant to the world. And every day I woke up, there was this weight on my chest, this unbearable pressure. I didn't know where my life was going. I didn't know how to fix it. And I had no one to call, no help, no safety net. It was me against the void. And for a while, I was angry at the world. I blamed everyone, my circumstances, the economy, even God. But one morning, as I stared at that cracked ceiling, something clicked. I realized no one's coming. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. If I didn't fix my life, I was going to rot in that apartment and die forgotten. That thought scared me more than poverty ever could. It wasn't motivation that saved me. It was rage at my own weakness, rage at being invisible, rage at knowing deep down I could be something more, but watching myself live like a ghost. I remember pacing that apartment, freezing cold, repeating to myself, you are not meant for this. You are not meant for this. I didn't need a therapist. I didn't need a pep talk. I needed to act. So I started doing push-ups, then thousands. I had no gym, no money for equipment, just the floor and my will. I read books from old war generals, stoics, men who endured real suffering, and I realized pain is not the enemy. Weakness is. Every rep, every page, every night I stayed awake instead of wasting time. It sharpened me. I wasn't chasing comfort anymore. I was building a new identity. A man no longer owned by fear. And slowly things started changing. Not outside, inside. My chest sat higher. My voice got deeper. I looked strangers in the eye. I started saying no. The world didn't give me anything, but it began to respect me. Not because of what I had, but because of who I had become. That's the secret they never tell you. You don't get stronger by waiting for life to get easier. You get stronger by becoming a man that hard times fear. And once you flip that switch, once you see yourself rise from your own ashes, you'll never want to go back. That pain you thought would break you, it becomes your fuel. That rejection that made you cry, it becomes your armor. That betrayal that almost shattered you, it becomes your lesson. And soon, you're not scared of loss anymore because you've seen what you can become when everything is taken from you. That's where power begins. The problem with men today is they've never had to build themselves from zero. They've been cushioned, coddled, lied to. told they're perfect just as they are. That's nonsense. You're not perfect. You're untested. You haven't been thrown into fire yet. And that's why you don't trust yourself. You don't believe in your own strength because you've never been forced to discover it. That's why life hurts you so easily. You're soft, not because you're weak, but because you've never been forged. When I look back at those nights I was broken alone, I don't feel shame. I feel pride. That was my rebirth. That was the moment the old version of me died and the man I am today was born. A man who doesn't beg, a man who doesn't complain, a man who creates his own fate. Every great story has a chapter of suffering. Every warrior has a season of solitude. Every king was once a peasant with a vision so strong it kept him alive through hell. If you're struggling now, good. That means your story is beginning. That means you've been chosen for something more. The world doesn't hand greatness to the comfortable. It reveals it to the ones who endure when it would be easier to quit. I didn't become who I am by accident. I built it. Day by day, rep by rep, choice by choice. You have the same option in front of you. Stay in your misery and pretend the world owes you, or step into your suffering and use it as the bricks to build your throne. The only question is, how badly do you want to be remembered? Ever wake up with that tightness in your chest? Like there's something chasing you and you don't know what it is, but you know it's getting closer? That's time. That's regret. That's the version of you that could have existed but never will because you chose comfort over conquest. You think you got years. You think you can coast? Figure it out later, start next week, hustle when it's convenient. Let me tell you something that'll make your stomach drop. You're already behind. Right now, there's a man out there who's hungrier than you. He wakes up earlier, he sacrifices harder, he suffers with a purpose. He doesn't care how tired he is because he's possessed by the idea of winning. While you scroll, he studies. While you rest, he plans. While you hesitate, he strikes. And one day, you're going to look in the mirror and realize he became the man you were supposed to be. That's the real fear, isn't it? Not losing money, not losing women, not getting hurt. It's knowing deep down that you were built for something more, but you never did the work to earn it. You had the potential. You had the brain, the hands, the breath in your lungs. And you wasted it. You lived a life of almost. Almost committed, almost disciplined, almost great. And you'll try to justify it. It wasn't my fault. I had a hard childhood. The system's rigged. Life's unfair. Yes, life is unfair. That's the point. It's supposed to be brutal. The man who conquers is the one who adapts to it, bends it, molds it, forces it to submit. But if you wait for fair conditions, you'll rock before anything changes. Look around. The world doesn't reward the kind or the nice. It rewards the relentless. You're taught to be soft, sensitive, apologetic, and you wonder why you're invisible. No one respects a man who doesn't respect himself. No one listens to the guy begging for approval. No one follows the dude who's always questioning himself. Power doesn't come from external validation. It comes from facing your demons in silence and choosing to fight anyway. That anxiety you carry, that depression, that overthinking, that self-doubt, it all has a root. It's not genetic. It's not permanent. It's the side effect of not living the life you know you're meant to live. That pain in your soul is your potential screaming at you. And let's talk about time, because most of you act like it's infinite. You walk around like you'll live forever. You put off the gym, the business, the discipline, and what you don't understand is that every day you wait is a day stolen from the man you're supposed to become. That should scare you, because the clock doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't pause when you're tired or broken. It just keeps ticking. And one day you'll look back and realize you traded your legacy for cheap pleasures, meaningless distractions, and wasted chances. You'll remember the nights you stayed up for nothing, the hours you poured into nothing, the years you gave to nothing, and no one will care. Not your friends, not your parents, not the world. Only you will feel that gut-wrenching truth that you had one shot and you blew it. But listen to me very carefully. You're still breathing. That means it's not over. That means there's still a window, even if it's small. You don't need to wait for a sign. This is the sign. You don't need motivation. You need clarity. The life you want won't be built from comfort. It'll be forged in discipline and solitude and sacrifice. You have to decide that enough is enough, that you're done playing small, that you refuse to die as someone who just existed. Because the truth is, greatness isn't born, it's earned. Through hours no one sees, through pain no one understands, through battles no one applauds. You want confidence? Earn it. You want respect? Command it. You want freedom? Bleed for it. That's how men are made. Stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending tomorrow's the answer. Stop numbing the discomfort with distraction. Sit in the fire and let it burn the weakness out of you. Face your shame, confront your fears, get violently honest about the man you've become, and ask yourself, would you follow him? Would you trust him? Would you want to be him? If the answer is no, then get to work. No more waiting, no more excuses. You either rewrite the script now, or you die as an extra in a story you were meant to lead. You keep waiting for some magical force to come and make you disciplined. You think one day you'll wake up and suddenly feel like doing all the things you've been avoiding. That day doesn't come. Discipline isn't a gift, it's a demand. It's built when you force yourself to act, even when every part of your body screams to take it easy. And let me break it to you, it'll never feel convenient. You think champions train because they're excited? You think killers wake up loving every second of the grind? No. They act because they've decided that their purpose outweighs their comfort. Weak men live on feelings. Strong men live on principles. And your problem is, you keep choosing what feels good instead of what's right. Every time you choose comfort, you kill a piece of your potential. That soft bed in the morning, that extra scroll through your feed, that bite of food you didn't need, these aren't small things. These are the chains that slowly wrap around your ambition and strangle it. People think failure comes from some big crash. No, failure creeps. It's the silent enemy. It's born in your daily decisions. Every I'll do it later is a brick in the prison you're building around your own life. You want freedom? Then you have to earn it. You want peace? Win the war first. Nothing good comes to the man who avoids pain. The pain is the currency. Pay the price or stay broke. Mentally, spiritually, financially, forever. And let me be clear, your pain isn't unique. Everyone suffers. The difference is what you do with it. Weak men use pain as an excuse to break. Real men use pain as the reason they must break through. That heartbreak, that failure, that humiliation. It's either the thing that buries you or the thing that builds you. You're not cursed, you're not doomed, you're just untrained. You haven't hardened yourself. You haven't built the internal armor needed to face this world like a soldier. And while you wait for some savior to lift you, other men are out here lifting themselves through fire and steel, turning their suffering into power. They're not crying about the world being unfair. They're becoming so lethal that the world has no choice but to respect them. You want to feel proud of yourself? Earn it. There's no shortcut to self-respect. You can't trick yourself into confidence. That's why most of you stay quiet in a room full of alphas. You know you haven't earned your place. You feel it. That shame, that hesitation, that internal whisper telling you you're a fraud. The only way to kill that feeling is to become undeniable. You need to grind in the shadows until your presence commands silence, until the room feels different when you walk in, until no one has to ask who the leader is. And that doesn't come from pretending. That comes from becoming. You've been lied to your entire life. They told you that being nice is enough, that being safe is smart, that chasing stability is the goal, and now look at you. Safe, broke, invisible. You're not meant for a life of quiet desperation. You're meant to rise, to lead, to dominate your lane so aggressively that the world has no choice but to make room for you. But that only happens when you flip the switch and start living like a man possessed. Every second matters, every move counts. You don't have time to waste, you don't have room to drift. You're either building the life you want or waiting for someone else to do it for you. And here's the truth most won't tell you. You already know what needs to be done. You know you need to wake up earlier. You know you need to train, work, study, sacrifice. You don't lack information, you lack execution. You've got enough knowledge in your head to change your life 10 times over, but you don't act on it. Why? Because you're still a slave to your emotions. You still treat yourself like a child who needs to be in the mood to work. That mindset will destroy you. The most dangerous man is the one who acts without needing to feel ready. The one who executes no matter what. The one who shows up with fire in his eyes, even on the darkest days. That man wins. That man becomes legend. That man rewrites his bloodline. You think legacy is built in good times? No, it's built when everything feels like it's falling apart and you still show up. It's built when you feel like quitting, but you bite down and push harder. It's built when your muscles burn, your mind screams, your soul shakes, and you say, good, this is where I become unbreakable. That's the moment most men run from. But if you face it, if you lean into it, you become someone you never imagined. A man with power in his words, fire in his presence, purpose in every breath. You stop living like a leaf in the wind and start moving like a force of nature. The life you want isn't given, it's taken. With blood, sweat, and relentless will. You either rise now or rot slowly. There is no middle ground. This is the moment. Right now, you don't get another lifetime. You don't get to reset this reality like a game. Everything you've wasted until this point is gone. The years spent procrastinating, the energy lost chasing distractions, the nights you convinced yourself tomorrow is enough, it's over. But what isn't gone is this second. What isn't dead is the fire inside you that's been screaming to be unleashed, but you buried it under comfort and fear and weakness. It's time to resurrect the beast. And not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because if you don't act in this moment, then what the hell are you even waiting for? Some divine sign? This is it. This voice, this reality check, this slap in the soul. This is the sign. You were not put on this earth to be average. You were not born to be forgettable. Look around you. Millions of men are sleepwalking through life. They've accepted defeat before they ever took a swing. And you're sitting here on the edge, knowing deep down that you're different, that you were meant for more. You feel it every time you look in the mirror and something stares back that knows it hasn't even scratched the surface of what it could become. That frustration in your gut, that emptiness you can't explain. That's the universe reminding you that you're wasting potential. You've been gifted life, strength, opportunity. And what have you done with it? Just survived? Just existed? That's not enough. That will never be enough. You want a better life? Then you need to make yourself better first. Stop begging for external change when your internal world is a mess. No more complaining, no more blaming, no more whining about how things are hard. Of course they're hard. That's the point. Growth isn't supposed to feel good. It's supposed to tear you apart and rebuild you stronger. And the man you're capable of becoming is buried under every excuse you've ever made. So kill the excuses, burn the list, wipe your mind clean and replace it with a vow. I will never betray myself again. That means no skipping the work, no negotiating with weakness, no entertaining thoughts of failure. Only forward, only fire, only domination. And I want you to understand something. No one is coming to save you. No mentor, no guru, no online coach is going to do the reps for you. I can scream at you, I can hand you the truth wrapped in gold, but if you don't act, you stay exactly where you are. The world doesn't reward thought, it rewards execution.